Hello, welcome to Once Upon a Surgery. I'm the host, Carrie Berlet, wife of world-renowned plastic surgeon Dr. Anthony Berlet. We're here to bring you real transformations, the stories behind them from the stitches to everything in between. Today, I'm here with my guest, Elizabeth, the beautiful Elizabeth, and she has some very interesting stories to share, and I'm excited for you to hear them. We're here to spill the tea over plastic surgery. Yay! Okay, so now I want to get started with your story, and I know you have known Dr. Berlet for quite some time, and I want to know the story about how you first met Dr. Berlet and what he said to you.
Right. I met Dr. Berlet 15 plus years ago.
Okay, wow. You've known him longer than me.
Yes, it's a long time. And I met him, some hairdresser told me, Dr. Berlet is fabulous, you gotta see him. And I said, okay, I never saw a plastic surgeon before. Let's go and check that out.
Right. And you were a former model, right?
Yes.
And so beauty, I'm sure that's, when you're a former model, you obviously are aware of your beauty and might be nervous, or what did you think?
No, I just thought, let's see, what's wrong with me.
I get that sometimes people, when they hear he's a plastic surgeon, okay, what's wrong with me?
Right, yeah. So when I stepped into the office, what is a beautiful office, I loved everything about it, the decoration, the decor, everything. I felt, I came to the right place.
Okay. Yeah, because he's he's into art and everything.
Yes, I liked, the art, everything. And then I met Dr. Berlet, and, I said, so what do you think is wrong with me?
Right.
He looked at me like, okay. I mean, you look perfect, but, maybe a little neck lift would be a big improvement.
Okay.
And so that's what we did.
Okay. And how was that? How were you nervous at all? You thought, okay, I'm ready for this. Had you thought about that before, or
No, I
knew
didn't
anyone
think
who'd done
about
it?
it, but I completely trusted him. And no, I wasn't nervous because Dr. Berlet's staff is the best.
His staff, yes.
Yes, absolutely. From when you come into the reception to the nurse, pre-op nurse, to the nurses who hold your hands to the surgery. I mean, they are very, very, very professional. Nobody are doing, and very, very friendly.
Yes, so nurturing, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Everyone says
absolutely,
that somehow
yes.
he's really made some great choices.
And together with Dr. Berlet, everything works like clockwork. Mm-hmm. From the first visit to the time, you walk out of there, you are, just totally taken care of.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Yeah. And had you known anyone who had done this neck lift before?
I mean, I did hear about people,
Okay.
they did it, and it came out great.
Okay.
And, little bit downtime, but not major.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right.
So.
And people, was your husband happy? And
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Right.
My husband was happy, but I have to say, it was so subtle, so people did not ask me, Elizabeth, did you have something done?
Right.
And that, I think, is a very good sign, because if people ask you, you have something done,
right.
then it's maybe a little bit too much or more.
Right,
like
you want it to be natural.
Natural, yes.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
good. I know I've had people say, they have relatives looking at them and they're like, we know that you did you get a new skin cream?
Right.
Right?
Yeah, that's the right, thing if people ask that.
Right.
I would agree with that.
Yes. So now there's another layer to this story, and I want to talk to Elizabeth about this piece, very serious piece. and so you had skin cancer, and I want to hear that story. And how did you know, like what first made you think you might have an issue?
Yes. So it was to COVID time.
COVID, okay.
Yes, and there was like the tiniest little spot. It wasn't red, it wasn't black, but it did not go away. I tried, Neosporin. I tried to scratch it off. I tried a tweezer. It didn't come off.
Okay.
So eventually I decided to go to my dermatologist.
Okay.
My dermatologist took a sample. It did get sent in, I want to say, to Canada.
Okay.
It took a whole while to come back.
Were they concerned? Did they think it
No,
was
they
anything?
didn't say nothing because maybe he knew, but they only know when they get the results back from the laboratory.
Okay.
And it came back, and he said, you have some skin cancer, and we will only see after we start to scrape it off, how bad it is.
Okay.
And to me, I had no idea what I was in for.
Right.
Scraping off mean to me.
Right,
all
I would just think, okay, you're like scraping a pimple off or something. Yeah.
So the lady who operated on, the doctor lady, she numbed it, and she took, the first sample, and then she went out. She came back, she took a second sample.
And so they're just taking this off your nose?
Yes.
Okay.
And it takes always 20 minutes. I guess she puts it under the microscope and sees, what she sees. She comes back a third time, and that goes on like 6 times.
Really?
And by now I'm getting really nervous.
Yeah.
Really nervous, because I was like, what is going on? And I didn't see anything.
And you're awake this whole time, and they're just cutting into your nose?
Yeah, but I did not see anything. After the 6th time, I said, can you give me please a mirror?
Right.
When she did show me what happened in the mirror, I almost passed out.
Really?
It was like a deep hole right here on the bridge of my nose, like about 2 to 3 millimeters deep, and also the same wide too.
Wow.
And so, and I was like, what we do now with this hole in the nose?
Right.
I mean, will that heal by itself? And he said, oh no, that will not heal by yourself. You need more operation. And there's Dr. don't remember the name.
Okay.
We want to send you to, but it has to be done within a week.
Within a week?
Within a week, yeah.
Wait, and so there's no warning, and then, so you just go have your nose scraped, and then and you need to have this taken care of within a week?
Yes, and we have the recommendation for this doctor who supposedly is a specialist. And so now I'm close to really passing out in that chair, and I was like, what I'm doing is Elizabeth thing.
Oh my
and
gosh.
I thought, I'm calling Dr. Berlet's office because I'm not going to that doctor who I never saw before.
Right, I mean, it's your nose.
Yep, and in the midst of the face. And so I called Pam, and I said to her, Pam, I'm sitting here in that chair with a big hole in my nose, and I don't know what to do. I wonder if Dr. Berlet is doing surgeries like that, and or you have a recommendation if he cannot do it. And
Right.
she said, I will be right back. I got to talk to him.
Right.
And sure enough, she came back after 2 minutes, and she said, yes, I talked to Dr. Berlet, and actually he said, that is something different than from his normal work, and actually he's very good in this kind of surgery. And I said, but it has to be done within a week.
Right.
And she said, we know that, we will really accommodate you. And and he
Yeah,
did.
that's tough, because I mean,
Yes.
sometimes it's difficult to
I
get.
know. So I'm
It's
sure
like
they had to
probably just
switch some
rearrange
people
and-
around, but
Right.
everyone again was most helpful.
That's great.
And so
And then tell me it's a crazy thing that he did, right?
Yes, it's a crazy thing, and actually, Dr. Berlet explained it to me. That surgery got done comes from Turkey, because
Really?
in the old time, I think there was something, if wives did whatever, something not right,
Right.
the husbands did cut the noses off on them. So,
Oh, and so then this was like punishment in Turkey.
yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, so that surgery gets done for a long time. So it goes like that, and if I wouldn't have concealer on, you would see it. You cut right here,
Right, cut you a piece of your
opening,
forehead, right?
yes.
Okay.
you take a flap from this,
Okay.
it gets somehow attached here, there's a little scar still there.
Okay.
And then he flaps it over there where the hole is.
Really?
Yep.
And so you take a flap from your forehead and then you put it over the hole.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then it's just like twisted around. And so then what? Then he stitches up your forehead? Or
Yes.
Okay.
You have stitches here, and I had some stitches here.
Okay.
And whatever that has now to feed, the
Right. Over the hole.
oh yeah.
Okay.
It has, the new tissue has to take. So
Oh my gosh.
that is important. So I'm not sure what all has to be used. So it takes, and of course, this we had to go in the hospital, and I needed to go under.
Okay.
Um,
And how long? I mean, how long was the surgery?
I don't remember. It was
You were under. I was like, okay.
that we had to ask Dr. Berlet, but
Right.
maybe an hour,
Okay.
or maybe a little bit more.
Okay.
And so I looked really like a monster for a whole while.
Right. Because then so basically it's cut here from your forehead, and then you have this flap.
Yeah, and there's some. It's like little socket or something, and that's sort of green.
Okay.
It's really not good looking.
Right.
But so.
And then it basically, over time, like then heals with your whole
Yes,
nose?
I had to go
Okay.
back, even the day after, almost every day for 2 weeks, He always looked if the tissue is taken, everything looks good.
Wow.
And, yes, we did it.
Yes.
But that was not really the end of it. He had to do other adjustment.
Okay.
And there was also, always a discussion. He said, actually, I think I want to thin that tissue out a little bit more.
Okay.
But then let's see, my son got married, so I was, no, we're not doing
Right,
that.
right.
And actually, it's okay, I'm not sure, But, he said, one day, Elizabeth, you
Yes.
really won't fix that.
Okay.
So because I saw Dr. Berlet, quite often for this,
Right.
and then I came in again, and again I asked him the question. He said, your nose looks good,
Right.
everything fine. And I asked him again, is something wrong with me? Is there something?
You're like, now what's wrong with me? Okay,
Yeah,
my nose is good.
Is there something, you think I should, address? And he said, I think you would really benefit from a neck lift.
Okay.
And, so.
Because at that point it had been 15 years
Yes,
since
exactly,
the first
15
one.
years,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
And I said, you think so? And he said, yep, I'm absolutely sure.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going home. I'm thinking about in the car, should I really, do
Right.
it? And then think, a little bit longer. Actually, not that long. By 4 o'clock, I called Pamela and said, okay,
Right.
I'm in.
All right. Excellent.
So, and we did that exactly 4 weeks. Tomorrow it will be 4 weeks.
Okay.
Everything went.
It looks amazing. I mean, again, I can't believe it's only 4 weeks.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's only 4 weeks. And again, after he was in the surgery, he didn't tell me before because he knew I probably would have again freaked out a little bit. He said, actually, now I'm thinning out again the tissue on my nose. So he cut again here.
Oh, really?
And
Okay.
he took some tissues out
Okay.
again.
Right.
So, I had the stitches here were also very well did heal.
Okay.
And again, the pre-op, all the, vitamins you take,
Right.
I definitely, it makes an impact. I really follow that. Drink a lot of water, drink a lot of cranberry juice, pomegranate juice, everything anti.
You think that helps with the healing? All those?
I think so, but
And that's what they recommended, or that's?
Yeah, they recommend that, but I also think, if you really think, true, it makes sense.
Right.
And no alcohol and stuff like that.
That's his thing. 2 weeks before, right?
Yes.
2 weeks before, no alcohol.
Yes, yes, and I did also follow that.
Yes. Sometimes it's hard, and you're like, oh.
Yes.
But it's worth it, yes.
So, to come to the conclusion from the story, I highly can, recommend Dr. Berlet for any surgery you would ever want to do. I was always very satisfied. I'm a perfectionist. That's what every people say about me.
Right.
He's a perfectionist.
Uh-huh.
So, and we don't stop by the time we receive, really the results we are looking for.
Right, that's great.
Yes.
And so,
and again, I want to also thank, all his staff, because, they are really the best.
right, I know, his office, I mean, everyone there is just, you want them in your family. They're so nice.
Yes, really, really
you're
are.
just always comfortable, just so kind, and
yes.
caring.
And again, if you look for a natural, look, I can highly recommend Dr. Berlet, because I see other people who went somewhere else, and sometimes, doesn't look that natural.
Right,
So,
right, yeah.
and
I know, and especially because you spend time like on the runway,
Not anymore.
I know, but I just feel like if you've ever been in the spotlight like that, I mean, you're aware of, your looks probably more than other people. And I mean, it's like, and to trust someone to do that, because if you get a bad result,
Yeah, but it's also a woman's preference. Some people, they like really, to not put it that way, not so natural, that's also okay.
Right.
But that's not me.
Right. But I'm just still in shock. But with your nose, like how awful that must have. How did was that were you just emotionally? I mean, and especially during the healing with this flap hanging down.
Yes. It was really some journey, and but everyone. Again, like I said before,
right.
Dr. Berlet and the staff really, helped me through all that healing,
right.
and did give me also encouragement and said, it looks bad now, Elizabeth, trust us, it will be better.
Right. I'm like, that is a huge trust, but I mean, you have no choice. And then so now that the skin cancer was taken out, are they at all concerned? Are you good? Or it's just you can't go in the sun now?
I try not to go so much in the sun, because, if you had one skin cancer, it might lead to other skin cancer. And also, if I go in the sun on that, triangle here, it turns right away red.
Oh, okay.
And it's, anyway advisable for people to stay a little bit out of the sun. I don't think, we're doing that anymore. That was a before time.
Right. Now it's wearing a hat, sunscreen, especially for the women. Oh,
right.
Yes. Okay, so as far as your face recovery, I can't believe you're only 4 weeks out. So just take me through, what's it like day by day? And you can't see anything, you would never know. And so, how long were you bruised, or?
Yes, the first day is the best day, because you're still under all the medication and you sleep.
All right, and you were fully awake during the surgery, right?
Yes.
People are always shocked with that. And
yes.
And this was your second time around, so you weren't, so were you were you more nervous, or you were just more okay, I've done this before?
No, I was not really nervous. I also tolerate pain pretty good, so I wasn't really,
Right.
I think I'm more nervous talking to you than I was.
Right.
With that.
Okay.
So the first day, you're still under the medication, and he also did give me Valium for the first night to sleep. So the first day is easy peasy.
Okay.
You're very lucky because your husband even volunteers to make you
Right.
dinner.
Oh, nice. And they're assigned to like basically wait on you, right?
Yes. So, and the second day, I went back to Dr. Berlet, and he said, everything looks great. I was a little bruised, of course, on both sides here, and the neck was bruised, and a little bit swollen.
Okay.
So, and he looked at all the scar and everything, said, looks fantastic. I took, the vitamins, you get every
Right.
day still. Then I came back, I want to say 3 days later, and we removed the stitches because remember I told you we did
Oh,
again
because
the
he
nose.
did the nose thing.
Yes, he removed that stitches.
Right.
And also I want to say maybe he removed one or the two stitches right behind my ear.
Oh, right. There's sometimes like a staple or something.
Yes.
Right? Yes.
No, the staples were still in under.
Okay.
So I think the staples came out about 5 days later.
Okay.
And again, easy peasy. By then, my swelling went, really down. I almost looked normal. Very minimal bruising.
Okay.
And 2 weeks later, you could not really, I still a little bit swollen, but not nothing, you had to hide or,
Right.
you could go back to total normal.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, and what's interesting is I think he thinks that actually doing the revision, like neck lift, facelift, that actually it's easier the second time around.
yeah.
It's like, I don't know, for him too, like as a certain whatever, I don't know. It's like surprising, right? That you would expect that, oh, maybe there's extra scar tissue, but he said actually no, that makes it easier for him.
Yeah, that only Dr. Berlet would know because
Right. I was like, I don't know.
that question I couldn't answer.
Right. And like, 15 years in between, and like, so then what had happened? So basically, so the first time it's just basically it lasts, so you would say 15 years, was that like around the right time that made you feel like it was time to go back, or?
No, I told you, I didn't feel
Right.
about it. I asked.
You rely on him, like what else?
Yes, yeah.
What's wrong with it?
Yeah, I asked, and that was Dr. Berlet's, recommendation,
Right. Okay.
to freshen that up again.
Got it.
And
And was your husband okay with that? Like, so sometimes I know husbands, especially like when it's the second time, you might have been nervous, like, oh no, we don't want,
No, my husband, his mother did, surgeries. His sister did some surgeries, so my
Okay.
husband, he's fine with
he's
that.
open to
Yes.
it. Okay, right. It's maintenance.
Right. Yeah,
Right?
like an old car.
Yeah. You just need a little tune-up, right?
Yes.
Well, you look amazing, and that's between that and then like your nose, like you would never know, and especially like you look stunning, and I'm so impressed that 4 weeks out, like again how your neck looks fantastic.
Thank you so
And
much.
there's this this phrase they call it the snatch or whatever, right? With people's just such a great line.
Yes, like, age comes with wisdom, but
Yes.
also with sagging. Next.
Age comes with wisdom, but also with sagging. Now, Iceman has joined us to celebrate the ending of the next Once Upon a Surgery episode. I want to thank Elizabeth for coming. I love your story, and really, that's crazy. The complex, surgery you've been through, and your face only 4 weeks out. I am so impressed, and you look amazing, and I think you can still model.
Thank you. I give the compliment back to you. You look amazing too.
Thank you so
And
much.
cheers to Dr. Berlet.
Cheers to Dr. Berlet. So we just heard from Elizabeth some really interesting and inspiring stories. I hope you enjoyed the episode, and please remember to subscribe, and we will see you next time.